quick little intro when we go live, because otherwise someone watches us on YouTube later and we don't start the show till 5 minutes later. So if you happen to be watching us now, if you are live, thanks for joining us. We call this Stormfront Freaks Raw because this is the recording of the show. This is episode 102. We've got Jim Cantore coming back with us tonight, so we're looking forward to chatting with him. But if you are joining us live, especially on YouTube, feel free to, in the chat box, jump on, chat. If you got any questions for Jim, feel free to type that in, and if we got time, we'll throw that out there to Jim and ask him some questions. If you've got something, if you happen to be watching the recording after the fact, that chat option does not work. But thanks for joining us anyway. We will get started here in just a couple minutes.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? I missed you last time. I was traveling in a vehicle to Nebraska. So last time you were on, I apologize.
No worries, my friend. Hope it was a great trip for you.
It was. I wanted to tell you because I was like, so you were the roommate of Tony Pacharka, huh?
We were suite mates, actually.
Actually, I met you at his wedding.
We just had a ski trip in February up in New England.
Did you really? Which one?
Oh gosh, we went to Attitash. We went to Waterville Valley. We went to Burke. We actually all went back. Him, Weir, and I went back to Burke, which is the mountain we skied at when we went to LSC.
Wow!
And so it was Weir's objective to go on every trail. It was a beautiful day, and it was just really weird because it brought back all the memories of when we just would go after classes every day and go skiing. So, were we as crazy? Were we skiing as fast? No. But it brought back a lot of great memories.
Injuries take longer.
Yeah, they do. They do. Plus, I think we were on day 3 of the trip. So after some rather rambunctious dinners, which consisted of a lot of liquid dining, it made for a difficult ski day. Anyway, there's that.
Never forget your first ski patrol ride down the hill. I'm just saying.
Oh, jeez. Knock on wood, man. None yet. Thank God.
Well, cool. All right. So everybody, just a reminder, mute your mics or mute your phones if you can. Everybody,
you know what?
looks good.
Can I say something? I always have my phone on mute.
I do too.
A good way. I don't even have the vibrator thing. I mean, it's
what's that about vibrators?
Your phone not control you.
What's that about vibrators?
Do you have a watch? Do you have a smartwatch?
I do not.
That's what I use. So it just vibrates. Look at it, see if it's important. If not, move on.
Wait, you guys, I have a question. Jim, I don't think I was allowed to be on the podcast or be a host when you were on because I was still at the Weather Channel.
Wait, hold on. You weren't allowed to be on it?
Not because of us. Not because of us.
No, because of executives at the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I've ever even asked. Should I be doing? Should I have been doing that?
No. Not till after tonight.
Not till after tonight.
Anyway,
seriously
though, is this not a testament though? I mean, we're kind of all in this together. It doesn't matter who you work for. It doesn't, weather service, anybody in the weather enterprise. At the end of the day, we're kind of all in this together. So that's always been one of my resonating themes about severe weather and warning people in preparation. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and my hope is always to promote whoever we have on. So, Jim, in this case, promote you guys and what you're doing. And that'll be some of my questioning if we get to it. But, it's kind of some of the things you're doing now with COVID-19 and how are you adapting as a channel and all that good stuff. But, all right, so here we'll go ahead and get started. We will go through the quick intro, let everybody know Jim's on the show, what's coming up, and then we'll introduce all of our co-hosts that are on tonight. What are you drinking? Jim, are you joining us with that, by the way?
Is the sun still up?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is that?
There you go.
So we'll ask you.
This is red grapefruit juice and Tito's.
Cool.
Wow.
So I'll include you in that. What are you drinking question? And then Maz, I'm going to turn it over to you. You can do Jim's intro and we'll get started on questions. We'll take a break about 20 after, right around there. We'll take a quick break. And and then come back to a few more questions and the lightning round.
So, Maz, you had a chance to work on this on your long drive to Nebraska.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's basically the same bio as Petrarca's, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just kidding.
Pretty much.
Except he has more hair.
But seriously, at the end of the day, though, how weird is it that Tony and I have sustained jobs in the same station for over 30 years? I mean, that's just amazing. Actually,
they love him there.
Oh my God, he's Mr. Providence, I call him.
Absolutely, he was so much fun to work with too. Oh my gosh.
Wait, Maz and Jim, how do you guys know each other?
Through Tony. I only met Jim at Tony's wedding first. I think he's not married again, is he?
No, not that I know.
So yeah,
he didn't tell me if he was or not. No, he's not. He's not married again.
Yeah, Jim was coming out of the bathroom and was one of those. Hey, Jim, hey, how you doing? You know.
Hold on, man. Let me get my fly here. Then I'll
shake hands. Right?
Yeah, there's no. Oh, sorry, buddy.
Kind of crazy nights. Yep.
All right, well, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and get started here. Ready? Everybody good?
Yep. That's
right. All right, coming in 3, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. It's brought to you by the Atmosphere Weather app, your hourly weather forecast on a clock for a quick read. It's the last daily weather app you'll ever use. The Atmosphere Weather app is available on Apple and Android devices. You can learn more at atmosphereweather.com. Don't forget, you guys can always go back. I mean, these shows are always great to listen to. We don't always cover a whole lot of current events necessarily, so they're really timeless shows, but you can go back. We've got shows. If you go to stormfrontfreaks.com, we've had people like the Weather Channel meteorologist Jen Carfagno has been on the show. Hurricane chaser Josh Morgerman was on earlier in the year. But this is episode 102. And we're excited. We got back to the show tonight, Weather Channel meteorologist, and I will add, since you were on last time, Jim, Hall of Famer Jim Cantore. Is back on the show. So we're looking forward to chatting with Jim and catching up with him. We also have, of course, our lightning round. Hashtag Weather Fools. We're bringing Weather Trollbot 5000 back and a lot more. Yes, welcome, Maz. But before we get to all of that, we got to find out who joined us tonight from our co-hosts. And we always let people know it's happy hour anytime we record. Just lets you know we like to have a lot of fun on this show and tell you who's here. So let's start off with MJ up in Minnesota. What are you drinking, MJ?
Hey, tonight, I guess I just have a tall drink of water. I've got to stay hydrated and a few things to do after the show. So
it's a little early.
You are a tall drink of water there, buddy.
Well done, MJ.
How about Maz in Cincinnati is with us tonight. Maz, what are you drinking?
I, too, have filtered water, but I also have a chaser of Purell. Not at the same time. You don't drink this, but you got to have the pure hand.
Purell chaser.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Good. All right, Jen's down in Atlanta. Jen, what are you drinking tonight?
You guys are going to be very disappointed.
I'm disappointed already, but you can continue it.
No, Fighting Town Tavern, though. If this isn't from Blue Ridge, Georgia, it's an amazing, restaurant. Their food is incredible. I think I went there for a weekend and ate there 3 times. So yeah, it's a good place to visit.
Wow.
All right, Greg, we need some help. Greg up in Canada, baby. What do you got?
Listen, I'm almost feeling like maybe I have a drinking problem because I'm the only one. I'm doing. I'm sure at some point I'll mix it up, but whiskey and ginger ale again.
Is it Windsor? Is it Canadian?
Of course it's Canadian whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And I'm just so that we can make sure we let everybody know we're not a bunch of water drinkers. I do have a little coconut Captain Morgan with my orange juice and Mountain Dew. But I'm under the impression I think our guest Jim is joining us tonight at the bar. Jim, what are you drinking?
Yeah, guys. I mean, we got to make it three for three.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank
so I'm a big fan of red grapefruit juice, but I'm a bigger fan of red grapefruit juice when you mix it with Tito's.
Good.
So I think they call this a Greyhound, which is grapefruit and vodka, but
wow,
it's good.
What a name.
That's the Russia here in the South.
Is that the Ruby Red?
That is the ruby red.
Nice. Oh, good choice. Good choice.
All right. Well, Maz, while you're there, why don't we give Jim a little better intro than what's he drinking?
Yeah, he's not just a drinker. Okay, thank you guys.
I got to tell you, we're gonna have to do a tribute to water one of these times, just to say who's got the fanciest water. Just saying, because we're gonna.
We could totally do that. I have to work after this, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Jim Cantore he is one of the most recognized faces in weather, known for his live reports from severe weather events. He's covered every major weather event during the past 25 years, including Hurricanes Katrina, Irene, and Superstorm Sandy. Jim graduated with a bachelor's degree in meteorology from Lyndon State College out there in Lyndonville, Vermont. The Weather Channel hired Cantore out of college, and he first appeared on air July of 1986, I think it was. Wow. He was inducted into the National Weather Hall of Fame in 2018. He has so many great things. I figure it's only fitting for our first question to say, Jim, did we just see you in a dress this week?
Oh boy, it was a lead off with that one, huh? You did. So Stephanie said to me, we have to do the flip the switch challenge. And I'm like, all right, Abrams, what do you got in mind? She goes, well, we'll do the weather version. We can do like we're both doing the weather, and we'll just switch off. And she's like, well, you don't have to wear a dress or anything. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'll do it. I mean, I'll wear it. And she goes, well, my dresses aren't going to fit you. I'm like, I tell you what, if it fits your husband, who's about my size, his name's Omar. I'm like, if it fits Omar, then it's going to fit me. So she's like, Cantore, I got the perfect dress for you. You imagine your show anchor saying that to you? Anyway, so we literally pulled it off because now we record our last block for the 8:50 show at 7:50. And so we play that so we can get in there and kind of disinfect the studio. But we essentially took that time to do the flip the switch challenge. Well, we were doing that break. And so we got it done in about 10 minutes. But it was fun. And I think I got about 33,000 people on Instagram that have liked it or viewed it or something like that. So it's kind of crazy.
Dude, you got some guns on you. I'm just saying. I was like, you totally kick my
butt. I mean, it's actually interesting. This kind of, home isolation's got me down in my home gym a little bit more. So perfect timing to put the dress on. You know what I mean? Yeah, had the gun show going.
No, I don't know what you mean.
That's you too, Maz. You've got some guns.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I also
Jim,
don't have a
got
dress.
some fans in here. Mia Voss has been watching you for years, by the way.
Hey,
You've got Julie Riley in here too.
Hey,
yeah,
Riley.
Mia's awesome, by the way. Mia's one of my really good friends.
So she's a bigger fan of yours than mine. Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. No, she's a huge fan of yours. And Julie Riley is going to pour drinks for those of us that are drinking water, just so you guys know. Yeah. So cheers to that. So Jim, how are things different at the Weather Channel? So for everyone listening, I used to work at the Weather Channel. I know how everything works, but I was there about 3 weeks ago recording Weather Gone Viral, and things, we hand sanitized and, we were careful. But now things completely changed.
I mean, there's all that going on. I mean, first of all, when you walk in the door, which not many of us are doing, frankly, there's maybe a fifth of the people that are normally on the first floor. If that, maybe even a tenth. There's like one person at the news desk, two producers, hardly anybody in the studio with us. But Jen and I, like if it's there's just two anchors now, and we don't have the 5 o'clock show. So if it's Jen and I, or Steph and Jen, we've kind of each got our own location that we're at, and that's where we stay. So I have the update desk and camera 5, as it's called. Jen has what we call the iPad and key wall 11. Okay, those are just the names. But she has her spots. I have my spots, and we don't cross. We don't touch the same clickers or anything like that. In between shows, everything's sanitized. We do it as we end the show, and then the floor directors and whatnot, they come in and they wipe down everything as well. And even Postel comes in for a third time after me this morning, because I'm gonna wipe down again, Cantore. I don't trust you. So I mean, but in all honesty, they're taking it very, very serious. And some anchors have home studios already. I think I've seen Felicia Combs at home already, and so she if she wants to work, Paul Goodlow's been at home as well. So that's supposed to be coming to my place next week. But I think what we need to do there is I think once we go to our home studio to broadcast, that's where we need to stay. So I'm actually kind of dreading that, to be honest with you, because I like getting up and going in. It's not like I'm going out and meeting everybody. Sure, I work out here at my house. I go for walks and runs outside, but by myself, and then that's pretty much my day, and my week actually. But
Jim,
that's the way to do it. I mean, we're trying to do it while being able to present the weather in the best way possible.
Hey, Jim, listen.
Weather doesn't take a break for coronavirus.
Has there been much talk, not just at the Weather Channel, but among meteorology types about how weather is playing a role and climate plays a role with this whole virus thing? Is there any connections being made? Any discussion about that? It seems that the Northern Hemisphere has had a lot more impact than, say, the Southern Hemisphere, warm areas, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the big thing is, okay, here we are going into summers. That's going to help us out a little bit. Do we get an uptick again in the fall for two reasons, potentially? A, do we start getting back to our normal lives, people getting together again? And then B, does the colder weather bring it back a little bit if we haven't eroded it? I mean, I'm hoping by that time we've got, an antibody that's ready to go. And then people are going to get shots and things like that. The way that we're working right now to see these companies coming together pretty much in every way, shape, or form, I'd be shocked if we don't have some type of, vaccine by that time. But that's just my hope. Frankly, I don't know if it's going to happen. It's kind of interesting listening to the scientists, Dr. Fauci and Dr. Burke talk about the modeling and things like that. And so you have to kind of sit back as a meteorologist and go, okay, so they're kind of looking at models too. They know probabilities. They know the high end, the low end, and the median, and where the most likely scenario is going to wind up. So I think as meteorologists, we can kind of relate to that.
Yeah, it's an interesting comparison, actually.
Right?
Yeah,
it's kind of. I mean, obviously, any scenario there is not a good scenario.
Right.
It's kind of like a tornado outbreak. We know we're going to have in one of these situations where we know we're going to have strong, long track tornadoes. When we go on the air with that, or when you guys write about it or talk about it, it's like one of those things where you got a little pit in your stomach. You're like, oh, geez, it's going to be one of those nights. So even with their forecasts and when they talk about the modeling, there's no good outcome here, guys.
Right,
we know that there's going to be more fatalities.
And they're not using a spaghetti model. That would be super scary if you've got like all the different, like, holy cow, what's that one at the top?
They probably could. I mean, within that cone,
I bet there
are probably different models. There's ensembles. I mean, there's ensembles that go into this.
Yeah, thinking about it, I bet they do. So, Jim, are they for live coverage? First of all, I'm sure they've halted that, sending you guys anywhere.
Right. Yes. We're not doing live coverage. I mean, I think if it was, I'm actually surprised we didn't go out for the big outbreak over the weekend, but it's one of those things where, if we got people that are already out on the road and we've got a lot of storm chasers that are out there, storm trackers, as we call them these days, you know what? They're out there. They're going to provide us with the video. We pretty much know where the areas to watch are. So yeah, why take that chance, really? Why take
Right.
Yeah.
Say this and is so
and it's not just for us, guys. As you know, it's for everybody else out there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to ever be the carrier and infect anybody else. And this is something that certainly I'm trying to make my kids understand a little bit. Christy and Ben, and it's like, guys, you can't just go out everywhere. And Christy's a very social girl. My daughter is very social. And I'm trying to make her understand that you have to stay home because her mom is high risk, and you go out and you bring that back to your mom. Yeah, right. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. So this has been a lesson for all of us, guys, as you know, especially with
for
kids.
Sure. Say, I'm going to jump in. A question from one of our viewers, Christine, a longtime viewer of ours, and you were talking about storm spotters being out there, and she asked the question: what are your thoughts about storm chasers and weather spotter roles in times like this with a lockdown? Are they essential, or are they a danger in spreading? What are your thoughts?
I mean, the problem is you can't really just go by yourself. You need somebody to be watching the radar as somebody else is driving. So if that's a person that you're hanging out with all the time, great. But hopefully the two of you are practicing, self-containment and things like that. Guys, to me, I'm a bit, we need the eyes on the ground. We need boots on the ground in a situation with severe weather. That really doesn't go away. So, unfortunately, like I said at the top, weather doesn't take a break for coronavirus. We're also entering, the time of the spring where we're going to see more outbreaks. Does next weekend or late next week, when that upper low finally comes out of Cal, is that going to be another big week for the South? I mean, certainly, do we coagulate and all stand next to each other and take pictures of a tornado way out in a field somewhere? No, no, we can't do that. So, the same rules apply out in the field for storm chasers as well.
Sure hope we don't have a situation like 2011 though again. If you added that on top of what's already going on, that would think
about that though. What do you do when you've got your neighbors that have been hit in a situation? I mean, are you not going to help them?
Yeah,
right. Would you just stay in your house? No, right. You're going to go help them. So it's just one of those things where life just dictates what you're going to do, and sometimes a life or death situation that you're presented with overtakes what we're dealing with on this long-term coronavirus. I know I'm going next door to help my neighbors. That's just me.
Right.
Yeah, and we've got Julie here who said that she's dreading this tornado season. She's in Wichita, Kansas. So she's really worried about that. But what interesting, so the positive light of all of this, I like to think of it positively, is the fact that in the Jonesboro, Arkansas tornado recently, a couple days ago, I think it saved people's lives because they were actually at home and paying attention to the news.
So, yeah, Jen's talking about the Turtle Creek Mall, where it was absolutely crushed from the tornado there, and it happened in the afternoon where that mall would have been filled with people. There's a lot of windows in that mall when you think about it, and all those windows were blown in with this EF. I think it was like an strong EF2 there. Then it ramped up a little bit toward the airport at EF3, which is what gave it the 140-mile-an-hour rating. But either way, the fact that coronavirus kept everybody home probably did save a lot of lives. So that was an absolute blessing there. And I think people are certainly more aware of what's going on as they don't have as much hustle and bustle. So yeah, maybe guys, in a way, this kind of helps us with tornado season, but tornadoes are tornadoes and we still have to take the precautions with them. But is this going to keep people away from areas where they should, would be at a time that a tornado struck? Possibly. We certainly saw that at the Turtle Creek Mall.
When you stay at home, what electronic wise, what are they bringing to your house?
I haven't been set up yet, but what's going on at my colleagues is there's kind of like the live view, which is essentially where you can go live with audio and video over a cell phone. And that's set up with a camera, some lights, and they want us in a situation where we're not really talking in front of a monitor, but yet, we're voicing over maps that are already prepared. And I'm not sure yet if we're going to be able to have control over advancing those maps, or if somebody, one of our weather producers is actually going to do that. But, it's going to be a face and maps.
So let's talk about the weather, Jim. What do you think? Yeah, let's talk about the weather. So what are you thinking prediction-wise this severe weather season? I know it's really hard, me asking you that. It's really hard to actually predict.
I've been thinking about this, Jen. So it's a very, very good question. And the fact that we've seen these Gulf water temperatures, right, guys? You see, it's so warm down there. We've had this subtropical ridge. We've had no winter in the South to speak of. Leaf out 3 to 4 weeks early, so we got all that going on. And really, what has been a very active Southern Branch storm track from west to east, right? And you're talking about systems that are going to come across. I mean, look at what happened last Saturday. I think that was a good example of a full, it's very strong, large shortwave that ejects out of the Rockies and comes out into this warm, moist air mass, and boom, you wind up with 20 tornadoes here, and some of them long track. So as we get into more heat, more instability, I think that plays a role, especially with the storm track that we have, and doesn't look like it's changing as we get into at least early April. So it's could be busy. Sadly.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody. I have found the last daily weather app that you're ever going to need. The thing I like to always look at when I'm looking at an app is I like to look at the hourly forecast. The challenge is with most weather apps is I've always got to swipe to something else, go to a different screen just to be able to find out what's going on an hourly basis. And what's great about the Atmosphere weather app is it's got 7 days of hourly weather temps, cloud cover, precipitation. It's all rendered around a clock, a 24-hour clock, with your radar right in the center. So it can even integrate what now is our empty calendars. a lot of us with kids used to have calendars with swim meets and soccer games and after school events and everything else. But it can take your calendar when you get one again, and it'll show it right on your 24-hour clock so that you know what to wear when you got to go out to your kid's soccer game or something like that. But the Atmosphere weather app, you can find it on your iPhone and Android for the US, the UK, and Canada. They have a free version, gives you up to 3 days of weather forecasts. But for just $3.99 a year, you can get a subscription that gets you the 7 days of hourly weather, no banner ads, that radar map, and a lot more. I'm telling you, you got to see this to believe it. Go to atmosphereweather.com and you can find out more. Hey, we're going to go ahead and take a break, get a refill. You can get a refill as well. And we're going to be right back with Jim so we can play the lightning round.
Guys, we should tell everybody that our studio audience is separated by 8 feet.
Yeah.
8-foot blocks. Okay.
Good. 1,000 people on Zoom.
Jim, what was your last lightning round?
When was my last?
It was your lightning round last time, Jim. Was I gave you New York Yankee nicknames,
We crushed
and
it.
you had to tell me who the player was. You did awesome, by the way.
You did great. Yeah.
I'm a huge Yankee fan, as you can see by my dragsters behind me with the Yankee. Anyway, that's
right.
I miss isn't it weird, guys? Just
God, it's horrible. Baseball's the hard one to miss.
I think it should be opening day at Fenway Park today.
Yeah.
Phil, that's my weather fool tonight.
Oh, really?
Baseball,
nice.
yeah.
Something with baseball.
Really?
Yeah. I would imagine, and I used to be a golfer. I'm not a golfer anymore, but I would imagine, although I don't know, are golf courses still open? Maybe
Some are.
Really?
So maybe that's not an
It
issue.
depends on the state. In Florida, they're not.
It does.
I know that there's a course right around the corner from me called Fox Creek that's open.
Okay.
It would seem to me though golfing would be as isolated as you could possibly be. You know,
Pretty
like
close.
Well, I mean, think about that. If you play with a foursome and everybody's coming in,
Drive a cart.
then you got 4 guys together. You know, you're all standing on the tee box. Yeah,
It's a lot better than a few thousand at a baseball game, though.
True.
Very, very true. Very.
Jim Nicholas Isabella had a great question, and then he put "Boo Yankees, let's go Mets" up. I think we lost his question. I don't know what happened to it.
Sorry about that, brother. But, the Mets. I think the Mets will be. I think the Mets are a playoff potential team. But who knows what they do with the season? You know. I think they certainly had their chance of being a really good team this year. Hey, they almost did it last year.
All right. Well,
by the way, weather geeks, how about that 1,070 millibar high up in northern Canada? How incredible was that?
That's insane. Yeah, Greggles, how did you feel?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can't you feel it? Don't you feel the weight of the world on you, Greg?
Are you
Come on,
stressed
man.
right now?
Not with what he's drinking. No,
He's all good.
That's
He's
true.
all good.
I haven't.
feel anything.
Sadly, I haven't looked at the weather because I haven't been doing anything.
Outside,
Weather.
it's
Yeah,
true.
I've been sober. Yeah.
God, I don't know if I could go a day without looking at the weather. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I would have a really tough time. I mean, sometimes I just have to put it down, especially the social stuff. But
yeah, the social stuff you have to put down from time to time.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a question coming back if nobody else does.
I'll do a question coming
Okay,
in,
okay.
and then you can take it after that one.
Cool.
Okay.
And I have one after you, Maz.
Okay.
here we
They're
go.
lining up for you, Jim. Questions
Oh,
are
yeah.
lining up. All right,
Teeing
coming
them up
back.
for you.
No pressure.
Coming back. 3,
No question.
2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I was told by Jim to make sure we let you know our studio audience. They're all 6 to 8 feet apart. We have a big studio, so we can hold a lot of people. But we're here with Jim Cantore.
There's that one guy over there. Get back.
We're here with Jim Cantore, Weather Channel meteorologist. Jim, did you have a chance to see Phil Klotzbach's Colorado State hurricane forecast today?
I did not, because I napped and then I worked out, and I'm talking to you guys now.
So here's what he's saying.
Hit me with the. I'm gonna hold on before you say anything.
Yeah,
and I swear to you, I'm thinking of Phil's going with a slightly above average season.
Yep, you'd be correct. So average roughly about 12 named storms. They're basically, because the El Nino's down a little bit. And due to the warming in the Atlantic, he's expecting roughly 16 named storms this year.
Wow. Okay.
So my question:
how many hurricanes? How many majors?
Good question. I didn't write that down.
That's important.
Yeah, I didn't. I
thought I heard eight
hurricanes. Okay.
No, 8 hurricanes.
Oh, okay.
And 3 or 4 majors. I don't know. That's
3 or
what
4
I thought
majors.
I heard.
Okay.
Big.
It was. You're correct, though. It was above average. But that was my question to you: is as you're looking into the tropical season, what are the factors that you're looking at when you're trying to kind of do your own little forecast in your head, or if you're, I don't know, maybe you do a forecast for the Weather Channel. I'm not sure, but what are you looking at, and what are your thoughts on this?
I think weather.com does one, and Jen, you can kind of probably back me on that one. But I don't. The Weather Channel we don't do one. We do list the different forecasts. We use Phil's. You know, I like his methodology, certainly, on how he does it, and also updates it, because you can see certain trends and things coming along as you go through the season. But guys, for the same thing that we talked about with severe weather, when you start talking about warm water temperatures in the Gulf, in the Caribbean, especially this time of the year where stuff develops close to home. That could be certainly a player with the subtropical ridge down there. I think the fact that we'll probably stay neutral in terms of ENSO, in other words, we won't have La Nina or El Nino. That's something that can't be factored in as a hindrance or an aid. So then the tip goes to the warm water, because that's what fuels the whole thing, and so you get an above average season out of that.
Yeah,
but. Like I said, I like what Phil does, and the fact that he will kind of look at the season and look at the different parameters that he uses. Hey, has something changed? Has shear been above average? Do we see more shear in this basin or that basin, or more dust? Things like that. Those are all important players as you go throughout the season. Because the hardest thing, I think, to convince everybody is this is a forecast for the basin. It doesn't really predict landfall with any type of skill. I think that's where we kind of take it a little bit too far, frankly, because we always like to focus in on, especially as people that prepare, all it takes is one. All it takes, and frankly, that's the last thing we need right now is a doggone hurricane. So hopefully it'll be they can all, if we get 16 of them, hopefully they're out over the Atlantic, and that's where they stay.
MJ, did I see you put something up there?
Yeah, I did. We were right. Timothy came in with 16, 8 hurricanes, 4 majors. So
okay, that sounds about right.
All right,
Jim, we've got a question.
You guys didn't tell me that I had like a yellow hue to myself today. Is that better? Is that better if I turn that off?
No, actually, I like it on.
You like?
Yeah, it's better with it.
I look like I'm
You look like you have a tan.
You guys.
Yeah, you look good. You look tan. You look glowing.
But his neck is still red. I don't understand.
Oh man,
it'll always be red. It'll always be red.
So Garrett Beverly is asking from the audience, what has been the hardest weather story response that you've had to cover in your career, Jim?
Ooh, gosh, there's been a lot of hard ones, guys. It's hard to single out anyone. I mean, obviously Katrina, the hardship. When you have literally. You walk up to people and they're crying their eyes out. They've lost everything. The Tuscaloosa tornado just coming in right after that thing. The hardest stuff is the tornadoes and the hurricanes, because especially when it's a big one and a bad one, it's just not going to end well, and it goes on for days and days and days. And then you have to stay on mission, and you have to tell the story and you have to, let everybody see what's happened here and why we need help, why we need a humanitarian effort as soon as possible. So those are the hardest ones. I mean, I almost look forward to winter a little bit because, winter's a little bit more fun. Playing in the snow, the beauty of the fresh fallen snow. There's so much more fun to broadcast. And then, of course, there's this little thing called thunder snow that just happens to happen every once in a while when I'm out in the field. I mean,
holy smokes, thunder snow!
Pretty exciting, yeah.
I love that video. Holy smokes!
So wait, Jim, your first live shot for a major natural disaster was Hurricane Andrew in 1990.
Yeah. 1992, the second landfall. I was in Baton Rouge. As it came in, it already had come through South Florida. And so we were pretty short on people, and they had asked me if I wanted to go out and cover it. And it took me like about 3 seconds to go like, yeah, I want to go out and be in it. Absolutely. And so, the first one, here we are in this hotel, guys. And this was back when they had the air conditioners in the hotel room windows. All right. And the air conditioner unit blew in at about 4:00 in the morning. Literally came right inside onto my floor. And I, of course, plop up out of bed. I look out the window. It's blowing in. I got transformer power surges going on. It looked like the 4th of July. So I call my producer, and I'm like, Simon, we got to go on the air. I mean, this thing's coming in. And it was probably one of the earliest times we've ever gone on the Weather Channel. I think we were up by 5:30, something like that. But
wow,
it was crazy. It was crazy.
So what are you? Oh, go ahead, Matt.
People have said you're the hardest working guy. I believe it because every time I travel, no matter what city I'm in, and I turn on the Weather Channel, Jim's voice is giving me the forecast. What the heck? How are you everywhere?
Yeah, the local forecast, the local on the 8s.
Yeah.
It took me about 16, 18 hours to record that. So you had to do each word, each number. And what was really weird is I started out and I did about 3 days of this. And I thought, man, here's what I'm going to do different than the last guy. When it's 105 degrees, I'm going to say it like that, like real intense. And when it's 10 below, or I'm going to kind of use my voice a little bit to jack it up. And so they came back to me after 3 days and finally starting to break down their recordings. Like, Cantore, you got to do that all over again. You got to be monotone because we're gluing all these different things together based on the forecast code. So we can't have you saying like winds will be 5 to 10 miles an hour and it's going to be 108 degrees. I mean, so they just kind of want one kind of flat, similar voice through the whole thing. But I was like, oh my God, I already did 3 days of this. So we had to go back and do all that over again. But yeah, that's the story behind the story.
I always wondered how you did that, man.
16, 18 hours, man. It was a long haul. I could only do like about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. Cause I'm just like, you're just saying all these numbers, saying all these phrases, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy with showers. I mean, it was just brutal. Blowing dust.
Was it written down and you're like reading it, or you're like, what would be the next one that I might say?
No. I mean, they would give me a sheet and I would just go.
Like what comes after 10? Is that what you're asking now?
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay,
the
Jim.
reason I'm not in weather anymore.
Jim, you have to tell us your favorite fan interaction. Like somebody comes up, oh my God, it's Jim Cantore. You got to have a couple good ones for us.
I have the one of all one. This little girl, she was a Make-A-Wish Foundation. We just had her in last fall, and she was so sweet. And we kind of had, I mean, to the Weather Channel's credit, we had the whole day planned for her. Everybody that was there was going to greet her when she walked in the door. Then she was going to be brought upstairs to our AMHQ team, meet us, and then we're going to take her on a tour through the different parts of the building, and her friend. And I mean, I just said, I'm not going to go upstairs. I'm going to go meet her with everybody else. And I don't even know how she saw me standing there. But I was just kind of standing in the corner waiting for her to come in with her family. And she just came running up to me and gave me this great big hug. And I had all I could do to just keep it together. You know what I mean? And it was just the sweetest thing. And so her and her friend that day were so into the weather. I mean, they're genuinely into the weather, like we were when we were kids, you know, when it rained or snowed or whatever. She just wanted to learn everything. And then she would talk about things that she'd already learned and everything. And just an incredible young gal. And so to this day, she is, you know, cancer free. She had ovarian cancer as a 9-year-old girl.
Wow.
So yeah, guys,
Wow.
that I will never forget. When I'm having a rough day, I start to think a little bit, okay, let's go back to that day.
But you know what, Jim, it's a real testament though to the fact that, you know, you're in people's homes every day and you really do have, and not just yourself, but everyone at the Weather Channel is involved in people's life every day. And you're a big part of that. And it's really amazing to see. And I think that being a fan myself, you know, and getting a chance to sit here and talk to you, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a touching thing. So you should wear that as a badge of honor, my friend.
Dude, I really appreciate that, to be honest with you. I mean, were any of you guys at the NWA conference last year by any chance?
Yes,
okay.
A little bit for one day.
So it was so nice to hear, you know, James Spann, who I have a tremendous amount of respect for, get up and talk about being a servant. Because I've always thought, oh my God, that is exactly what we are. And so, you know, he's going to tell it like it is, which that's what makes him great. And I was just like, I was so happy to hear him say that, because that's exactly how I feel that we are servants. And it gets you up out of bed in the morning. I don't care how tired you are, you have a service these people are counting on you, whether they are or they aren't. That's what's in your head. And so it was so refreshing to hear James say that, because we are servants at the end of the day. And to be able to do that, I mean, what at the end of all this, guys, I don't know if it's going to be 36 years or 40 years, which I would like. I'm proud to be a servant. I really am. And I like to just do it to the best of my ability every day. That's
well, and that's a good segue, Jim, because my last question before we get to the lightning round is maybe the direction of where TV weather is kind of going. So my question as to you as a forecaster, what have you seen in the last couple years, and even now with the COVID-19 and how people are adapting, where do you see TV and cable weather going channels in the future?
I mean, we have to figure out how to bridge the gap between cable service and streaming. I just don't think that everybody's going to get everything off an app. I mean, we would be very foolish to think if there's a little lightning bolt in the afternoon over Birmingham that people are going to understand what that means if they haven't really heard about the weather. So I think as broadcasters, it takes still the broadcaster to discuss the possibilities of the afternoon, how, you know, maybe this will be something that'll be an overnight threat, tornado wise or severe weather wise. It's those kind of things that I think we have to play a role in. But I think you're going to have to see a stream down the road. I don't know how you survive just doing cable anymore. I mean, you have to, is there going to be a YouTube weather channel? Is there going to be other avenues for certainly? And I know we're looking into this certainly as a business, but it's somewhere we have to go down the road.
Well, and speaking about YouTube, thanks for bringing it up. I have YouTube TV, and they don't have the Weather Channel on there. I am like, what the heck?
You see that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Same here.
And there's this, hence the opportunity right there. I would hope with the Weather Channel brand that we would be an option and all that. Whether it be a separate crew altogether or people that you're used to and that you know. But I think that's where we have to go. I mean, we have to be on all platforms.
Because I miss my Jim, man. I miss him.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
You're killing me, bro.
All right, well, hey, that's the sound. It is time for our lightning round. So this is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions that we play with our guests. We always invite everybody to play along, so feel free to join us. And co-hosts. You guys can always feel free to help Jim out. But tonight, Jim, we're bringing back a favorite. This is this has been ongoing over the last 4 years we've been doing the show. But since we're getting close to that time of the year, we're going to bring back a little hurricane or supermodel.
Oh, yeah.
Little hurricane or supermodel. But here's the twist.
Oh, boy.
So here's the twist. We're going to call this retired hurricane or retired supermodel.
Is this an age thing? Is this because Jim's on?
Wow,
No, it really has nothing to do with that. But so here's how the game's played, Jim. I'm going to give you a name, a first name, and you have to tell me, is that the name of a retired hurricane or is that the name of a retired supermodel? Okay.
And the
Pretty
name,
simple.
I assume the name. I love how you tell me what we're going to do with this before we talk, which you did not do, Phil. But it's one or the other. There's no C, none of the above, right?
No, right. This is either a retired hurricane name or it's a supermodel. Now,
Phil, I would love to have a sneak peek in your head when you're coming up with these things.
No, you don't. Oh,
yeah, you might not want to have that.
All right, so here we go.
Let's
go ahead and get started. And co-hosts, freaks, you guys can jump in and help Jim out if you want. But the first name we're going to start with is Cindy. Cindy, is that a retired hurricane or a retired supermodel?
Too early in the season. It's got to be Cindy Crawford. Yep.
That is correct, Cindy Crawford.
Retired?
All right.
Yeah, sorry. Do I get extra credit for the last name? Sorry.
Sure. Yep, you got 2 points for that one. Good job.
What's the trail over here on this side? What are you guys doing?
Next name.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
That's the
Next name.
supermodel.
Jim's drinking water and Greg's drinking Canadian
L.
Coke, right?
L. Is that a hurricane, retired hurricane, or retired supermodel?
L?
Yes.
I guess it's going to have to be a retired
ELLE.
retired supermodel. I'm going to have to, because I don't remember any L.
That would be L. McPherson. You were correct.
There you go.
L. McPherson.
So it's L McPherson, not Ella McPherson?
Yeah, no, it's been L.
No, it's L.
Really? Wow. Okay.
That's all right. Hey,
rolls together like
last time.
because that's what I'm thinking of.
Got the
Actually,
L out of there.
Jim, be happy I didn't put Giesel on this time around. That was one of ours a while back. Was Giesel? I didn't know how to pronounce. Okay, here we go. Diana.
Thank
You mean
Phil.
Giselle?
Yeah. I called her Giesel or
Diana?
Diana. So the next one is Diana. Retired hurricane or supermodel?
Hurricane on that one.
Diana, 1990.
He's killing it.
All right. Alicia, retired hurricane or supermodel?
They better have been retired. That was a big one. That was a Cat 4.
1983.
There you go.
Very good. All right. Linda.
Ooh. I'm going to say supermodel on that one. I don't remember a Linda in the mix.
Linda Evangelista.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Linda Evangelista. Very good. All right. Elena.
You know what? Okay, before you say,
Go ahead.
That's retired hurricane. But here's what I'm going to say.
1985.
The thing about Linda's, guys, as you get up toward the I and the L's and that's where you're starting to get the Cape Verde storms or the Cabo Verde storm. So it's kind of, you kind of have to stop for a second. You made me think of that one.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this much. That Linda is the lowest letter on any that I'm giving you. So I was kind of aware of that. So here we go. Next one, Claudia. Retired hurricane or supermodel?
Claudia Comaneci. No, that's a skater. Wasn't
that Nadia?
I'm gonna say supermodel.
Supermodel?
Yeah.
Correct. Claudia Schiffer.
Yep.
Oh, Schiffer.
Claudia Schiffer.
was a gymnast.
What am I thinking of? Comaneci?
Yeah, she was a gymnast. Jim.
Nadia.
Nadia.
No, Comaneci.
You're like mixing metaphors now.
It ends with an I.
All right, next one, Helena.
Oh, sick.
Hurricane or supermodel?
I love how he said, "Oh, sick."
Oh, that's a tough one.
I don't know.
Can I call a friend on that?
You can do whatever you want. Sure.
You're Jim.
I would call Jim Cantore on this one.
I'm gonna have to say hurricane. I'm gonna have to say hurricane.
You can say hurricane? Helena Christensen.
Oh, did you say Elena or Helena?
Helena, sorry. Helena.
okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice try.
Nice. Good job. All right, we got two more. Greta. Retired hurricane or retired supermodel?
Oof. I'm going to say supermodel.
1978.
You know, I was never a good tester.
78.
There was what did Greta do? Give me.
He was in high school.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was 10 years old in 1978. What do you?
Hey, you're 2 weeks older.
No,
than
wait,
me,
I was
just to let
14.
you know.
I was 14.
Hey, it gets a little harder as you go.
So
That's all I'm
Greta was in
saying.
the blizzard of 78 year, really?
1978.
Wow.
Greta.
Yeah.
Yep. Retired. All right. Last one. This is for all the money. Allison, hurricane or supermodel?
It was a tropical storm.
Good enough. 2001.
Good
2001.
Yeah,
All right. Well done.
That
Yeah,
was
that.
You did
Yeah.
nail that. Wow.
good. He was good.
Yeah,
I don't know. We've played that game with Josh Morgerman.
Yeah, how did
We
Morgan
played
do on that?
He did okay. We did 2020 hurricane name or supermodel.
Oh,
So it was either the name of a 2020 hurricane
gotcha.
or a tropical storm or a supermodel. And he did pretty good. I'm trying to think. You only got 2 wrong out of 10, so that's 80%.
That's
pretty
pretty
damn
good, man.
That was good.
Pretty good. That's what I did.
All right, well, Jim, do us a favor. Tell us how people can follow you on social media or where they can find you.
So Facebook,
No address, please.
Jim Cantore is kind of a mixture of everything. Instagram is my personal life, essentially. And Twitter is my meteorology. If you want to know what I'm thinking about something, that's where you're going to find it on Twitter. That's kind of how I base my social media platforms.
Very good. All right. Well,
I
I'll
don't do
tell you what.
TikTok, I don't do Snapchat. Sorry. 3 is enough.
That's good. That's more than I do. We're going to go ahead and take our final break. We'll be right back with our infamous hashtag Weather Fools, and we got Weather Trollbot coming back as well.
Oh, I love Weather Trollbot.
No, you don't.
I do. I love Weather Trollbot.
All right, Jim. Thanks for humoring us for a little while, brother.
Oh,
Appreciate
God,
it.
man. Always, Dr. Phil, always.
Are you taking off?
You can stay if you want. If you got nothing better to do, you can hear our hashtag Weather Fools, and our Weather Trollbot is always interesting.
Yeah, I'll listen to it. I mean,
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
You stick around. Probably be about 10 more minutes, 10, 15
Hey,
minutes.
when you take a vacation and you just go somewhere and people go, "Oh crap, Cantore's here. What the heck's going to happen?"
That happens.
Really?
Even when I go skiing, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm on a ski mountain here. What
What could possibly?
What are you
happen?
worried about?
Thunder, snow.
I mean, okay, yeah, we're gonna get a blizzard. Awesome, right?
All right, so here we go. We've got so coming up. So we have Weather Fools. Greg, you are going to introduce that.
Okay.
So we'll come out of break. I'll do the applause, and then I'm also going to play the Who. Okay, so I'll play that, and then I'll turn it down, and you can go ahead and introduce it. And then I have 2 Weather Fools.
I have one. Maz?
Anybody else with a Weather
No,
Fool?
I have one.
Well, hey, you guys got to tell me what this is a little bit first. So
Okay, Greg, tell Jim what Weather Fools.
hit me, Greg.
So hashtag Weather Fools. It's people doing stupid things with weather. So whether it's a YouTube clip or an Instagram something or other, but people doing dumb things.
It'd be like, dude, what were you thinking?
One could assume that somebody standing out in a thunder and lightning storm in the middle of a snowstorm could be kind of a stupid thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've admitted personally we've been Weather Fools ourselves many times.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that right now. That's probably not the smartest thing I've ever done, but
Oh, the golf club didn't help when you were out there.
All right.
find that picture.
So
Jen.
all right. So I've got 2. Greg's got 1. Jen has 1. And Jim, do you want to
I'll
yourself?
I'll self hit myself with the.
All right.
No.
So Jim will share one.
Jen, are you going to share a screen or just tell?
Oh yeah, I'll share my screen.
Okay,
Hold on. I'll do that right now.
just so we got that set up ahead of time.
All right, and then Greg, whatever order you go in, when you're done, just remind everybody episode 102.
Okay.
You can find it in the show notes. All the links
notes.
to our Weather Fools in the show notes.
Perfect.
Hey, yeah, make sure you send that to me too, so I can tweet it out.
Got it. Yep.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys.
You rock, Jim.
And then when you're done, I will take Weather Trollbot 5000. We got 3 of them tonight.
Man.
Get ready, Maz.
Jim, get ready, Jim. This will be
Yeah, get ready. Yeah.
No.
It's hilarious.
So Weather Trollbot. So tell you what Weather Trollbot is we take people in the weather industry that have commented to trolls. Most of them on social media where there's someone that trolls them with some stupid comment or negative.
Essentially, it's Span and Ginger and everybody else.
Pretty much. Yes. Okay. Ginger's been on quite a bit. She's had her own. I think she had her own Weather Trollbots section one time.
Oh, you do a show on that for God's sake.
But so we do. So we share what that is, and then we plug it into our Weather Trollbot, and it spits out what that weather person was really thinking when they replied, because they always reply really professional and nice, and but we print Weather Trollbot spits out what they were really thinking.
How many ensemble members you got for this thing?
Yeah, it's Phil. This is Phil.
It's just okay. One member. Okay.
So we'll kick this out. You'll enjoy this, and here we tell everybody to put their earmuffs on, their kids.
Tell your nun to turn off the audio
section.
Another reason Greg doesn't want to be in Phil's mind when he's thinking of this thing.
Exactly.
So any of this stuff, Jim, just so you know, you're more than welcome to jump in and say something about any of this stuff that we're talking about.
Sit back here and have another cocktail and listen to
all
it.
It.
Sounds
great. Yeah. Enjoy it. All right, and then MJ, I'll go to you with Freak Fan Box.
Yeah, I get 2.
All right, and then we'll close it up
somewhere.
All right, is everybody ready? You got everybody sharing their screen?
No, I'm not.
I got them.
Not ready.
All right. So Greg, I'm going to count you in.
All right.
In 3, 2.
All right, it's that time of the show where we're going to do #WeatherFools, and we've got a few lined up for you tonight. I think, Jim, you're going to actually share your own personal WeatherFool story. We'll end off with that one, though, I think. Let's get it started with Jen. Jen, what do you got for the #WeatherFools today on episode 102?
All right, so this is from the Jonesboro, Arkansas tornado, and this is crazy footage. So from a meteorological perspective, and I'm sure many of you have seen this video, it's fascinating understanding the science and seeing it, watching it on radar and then seeing it up close. But this person is way too close to this tornado. Those windows could have blown out.
No kidding.
Get underground, dude.
All I can say is his dog should have bitten him. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like, look at that. The power flashes, all that debris flying around.
I mean, you're close enough there that those windows could have been just blown right out of that building.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So it's not worth it to get video like that. I know everyone loves, especially the geeks love to do that, but yeah, not that close. You need to get into a safe place for sure.
Right on.
Thanks. Place. Yeah.
Thanks, Jen. Phil, you got a couple for us.
I got a couple. So the first one comes from Mike Collier on Twitter, and he shared a photo of a guy mowing the lawn during golf ball hail.
Oh, God.
Probably not the best time to do it. I thought one of the funnier things was down below. One of the first responses from Joseph was, "This is what happens when you tell your wife you'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow shows up."
That's pretty good.
Not advised mowing your lawn in hail. The next one comes from Giovanni on Twitter. And this was, you want to know where all the toilet paper went? Here's some dude on TikTok.
Oh, no.
Who created a tornado, but he did it with toilet paper on his ceiling fan, and he tries to go into the inside of the tornado. And the funny thing is, if you listen to the audio of this, he's got his mother going, "What are you doing? Stop! What are you doing with the toilet paper? Knock it off!"
Now I know what I'm doing tonight, Phil.
If we were in a toilet paper shortage, that might be interesting.
I mean, they could probably get a good week out of that if you think about it. There's a lot of toilet paper.
Oh, man,
There's a lot of toilet paper.
Those were really good, Phil.
That was my weather.
We actually had that conversation. How many sheets does everybody use each time they go? We want to know how long it's going to last.
I'll pass.
Are you a
TMI?
folder? Are you a crusher?
Yeah, folder or crusher.
I'm a folder.
I remember I used to be a crusher when I was younger, but now I fold. Yeah, I've become wise in my ways.
All right,
You become a sophisticated pooper, man. That's awesome.
I think we're going down a rabbit hole here.
Going right down.
Prepping for
all right, so I have also a weather fool. Now this one is, I'm really missing the start of baseball season, like I think we all are. Yeah. It's that time of year, so I pulled out an oldie but a goodie. This is you're going to see the groundskeeper, one of the groundskeepers. The wind is high. They're putting the tarp out for the rain delay, and you'll see here that he actually gets picked up and swallowed as the wind comes up and takes him down.
Oh my goodness!
And he gets tossed somewhere in that tarp, and the entire Pittsburgh team comes out to help try to find him underneath this tarp. And it's pretty wild to look at. Imagine being that guy.
Oh my
That's scary a little bit. If you can breathe under there, I mean, it's kind of heavy.
Look at the baseball players. They're like, oh, dude, look at him, man. Oh, that's kinda
didn't we play that?
By the way, look at the flag. Look at the flag going left.
Good.
Wow, that's really cool.
Notice the tarp going the opposite way.
Only you would know that or recognize that, Jim. That's a really.
I'm sorry, it's weird. I'm weird like that. But yeah, you get these weird, wind effects, obviously in the stadium. But that's crazy.
Jim, what was the forecast that day? Do you remember? Was it?
It escapes me.
So Jim, you have a weather fool for us. Sorry, Jim, you have a weather fool for us. Tell us a weather fool story on your own end.
Well, guys, let's think back to a few occasions where I've stood out in the middle of lightning and thunder in the snow coming down, which isn't really the wisest thing to do because that is actually cloud to ground lightning, to be honest with you. But it's one of those things that just overtakes me, but I just want to admit, I mean, I'm not proud of that because it really is. It's what I tell you not to do, but I do it myself. So that's a weather fool honesty.
With the flakes, would the path be complete? I mean, you wouldn't even have a clue of the path of least resistance with that.
No.
You could be lower and still get hammered.
And no, all you see is the flash, and then you hear a little bit of thunder. You're right.
I don't think you hear much.
And you're buried.
Phil, I think the name of tonight's episode has to be Thunder Snow.
Wow, that I like sophisticated pooper sound pretty good too.
Yeah, there you go.
I've written several down, but
okay.
That's true.
All right, so if you want to check out any of those weather fool links that we provided, check out our show notes, episode 102. You could go to stormfrontfreaks.com, or a lot of times if you're listening to our podcast on your phone, you can find the show notes right on your phone as well. I'm excited, if nothing else, I'm excited not only the fact that we're bringing back Weather Trollbot 5000 to the show tonight. It's been nice outside. I cleaned my garage a little bit working from home, and I just said, it's a good time. I brought her in from the garage. So I'm excited about that, but I'm excited to share this with Jim. And I preface all of this. If you're listening to the edited version of the podcast, we will edit out some of the things that Weather Trollbot says because she lays it out pretty good. But if you're watching the Stormfront Freaks Raw, like if you're watching live or you're watching this on YouTube or Periscope after the fact, this is definitely a time to put the earmuffs maybe a little bit on the kids because we don't know what she's going to come out with. So with Weather Trollbot 5000, we look at situations where some of our weather friends in the weather industry have been trolled by people saying negative stuff or stupid stuff. And what's great about our weather friends is they always come back, most of the time, with very professional, nice, calm, pretty easy things back. Nothing too mean, but what Weather Trollbot
on brand.
Yeah, and what Weather Trollbot does is we feed all that information into Weather Trollbot, and she kicks out what that weather person was really thinking when they replied to that troll. So we really get to find out what they were thinking. So that's
this
where
is no maybe on the earmuffs. Put the earmuffs on the kids.
Put the earmuffs on, the kids. All right, so we got 3 of them tonight. And the first one comes from a friend of the show who's been on before, Mike Olbinski. He's a storm chaser and photographer.
I know Mike.
But this is from Facebook, and he added this to Twitter. But here was the troll. The troll is Nordic. I don't know who Nordic is.
Shocking.
But this is in reply to a somewhat new video that Mike had put out that was in black and white. It was just gorgeous as all his stuff is that he does. But Nordic said, too bad it isn't in color. This looks unfinished, like partway through an edit. What is next? Sepia, film scratches and dust? Where do you stop with the retro stuff? And Mike's response, pretty simple. He just said, definitely we'll do a sepia film next time. Right? But what we have to do is we actually have to plug this in to Weather Trollbot. And so
it's crunching really big numbers, man.
Yeah, Weather Trollbot's not the newest model. Is not the newest model. But let's find out what Mike...
Here is what Mike was really thinking. It is black and white, dude. When the fuck did that become retro? You don't like it? Good. I'll add sepia and scratches on the next one just to piss you off.
So that, I guess, is what Mike was really thinking.
Did I miss it? I must have missed it.
So good. So there you go. Mike's going to do it just for you, Nordic, next time. All right, second one comes from Bree Eggers, who's a meteorologist at KTVB in Boise, Idaho. This was also initially on Facebook, but she posted it on Twitter. And one of her quote-unquote fans, Judy, said, "What happened to you, Bree? You used to be smiley, not so much anymore. On another note, I don't mean to be cruel." So she prefaces with that, right?
Uh-oh.
But please get a professional bra fitting at one of the department stores.
Oh,
I saw you last night, and well, you can look a lot better than that.
Dang.
Holy crap. You guys,
I don't mean to be, but
I'm going to preface this really quick. As a former on-camera person, women on women like hate or whatever.
Oh,
crazy.
So horrible.
Brutal.
It
It's
really
like, what was the name of that movie?
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. Yeah.
Yes,
Mean Girls. That's exactly what it
things
is.
have gotten better with the women movement and everything, but still, it's just
all right. Well, Judy's not aware of that movement. Bree came back and said, "I'm pregnant, Judy. Back off. We all are going through a rough time right now. I would hope that would bring out the kindness in strangers. Unfortunately, today your message is the reason why I'm not as smiley. Be well, be kind."
Wow.
Wow.
Good response, though. Very good response.
Yes, very professional. So we got to find out what Bree was probably really thinking.
Oh, boy.
When she kicked that.
No
Give
trouble.
it to her, Bree.
All right, here's what Weather Trollbot comes out with.
Here is what Bree was really thinking. A bra fitting at a department store? Did you grow up in a little house on the prairie? Do you recommend Sears Roebuck? How fucking old are you, Judy? I am pregnant and normally don't have these size boobs like you probably live with daily. Back the fuck off and spread a little more kindness, would you?
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Way to go, Bree. Good job. All right, last one comes from Jason Simpson, chief meteorologist at WHNT in Huntsville, Alabama.
That's my former boss. I used to work there. Yeah.
Okay, so this was from Twitter, and so at Tim McCarley. See, we're not afraid to throw people under the bus here at Stormfront Freaks, but Tim said, "Can we have our programming back? Take the coverage to the continuing coverage channel. Radar indicated tornadoes isn't actually tornadoes. If they are, then what are they? F1?" Now, Jason came back, and this is where normally, right, again, you get a nice professional response. Just so you guys know, Jason came back and said, "Go lick a doorknob."
nice. Good one.
I like him. I like him.
So we got to find out maybe what I guess Jason was really thinking at the time, but we'll plug that in.
Was this pre-COVID when he said the doorknob?
No, it was COVID. It was COVID time.
Oh, wow.
So I think there was a reason for that. But here we go. She's ready to spit it out.
Here is what Jason was really thinking. How should I really respond to this ignorant prick? I should tell him that a radar-indicated tornado could be a tornado on the ground that no one has reported yet. I should also tell him that it could be stronger than an EF1. But all tornadoes can do damage and injure people. But that is a lot to type. It would be quicker to tell the little fucker to lick a doorknob.
There you go.
That's not an EFU. That's an EFU.
That is an EFU.
Nice.
That was great. Oh my God.
So it's always good to bring Weather Trollbot. Welcome, Jim, to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. But that is our Weather Trollbot 5000.
Fantastic.
Very good. All right, MJ, I'm going to jump to you. Let's find out what we got in the mailbox.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line.
You've got mail, baby. Yeah.
Yes, we do. Chris Jack on Podbean sent us a little message. Says, I really like these shows. Really like watching it on YouTube. So thank you, Chris.
She likes the raw stuff.
There you go.
Oh.
Move on. Just move on.
All right. Yes, I think we better. Garrett Beverly chimed in. Says, I'm kind of a long one, but good story here. I'm sitting here watching the raw cut of the Tim Marshall podcast. Really big fan. I've followed his work since my high school days with Storm Track magazine subscription. I never get to see the severe weather you guys see where I live in the mountains of Southwest Virginia. I was scheduled to go chase with Greg and his Tornado Hunters crew in May to fulfill a lifelong dream. I was just let go from my oil field job of 13 years, so my chasecation may be scrapped amidst that and this COVID-19 chaos. For now, I'm living vicariously through you guys. This drastic life change may be the push I need to go back to college for meteorology and photography. Keep the podcasts coming and stay safe.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
Garrett's watching the show right now too. So little shout out to Garrett, awesome guy. I've had a chance to talk with him, and we'll get you out next year, Garrett, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good luck with everything, Garrett, and we'll be here for you. Please contact us. We love to hear from you via Twitter, Facebook, or at stormfrontfreaks.com.
Very good. All right. I think that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thanks for listening and watching. I always encourage you guys, if you like what you're hearing and watching, whatever it is, we love your reviews. We love your feedback, like we just heard. You can jump on Apple Podcasts and some of the other podcast players. You can leave reviews and written reviews there, and we can share those on our next show, or just feel free to send us an email at questions@stormfrontfreaks.com, or find us on Twitter, Facebook, etc. You can leave a comment there about what you like. We'll definitely share that. And don't forget to subscribe to the show. Most podcast apps, you can hit a follow button or a subscribe button, and it just allows you to make sure that you're getting the latest episode the minute we upload that and release that edited version of the podcast. I do want to say definitely a special thanks and welcome back tonight to Jim Cantore. So, Jim, thanks for joining us this evening. It was great having you back. And in our next episode, we're going to be recording live on YouTube and Facebook Live this time. We'll be on Thursday, April 16th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. We're going to have storm chaser and photographer Shannon Bolesky is going to be on the show, so we're going to be looking forward to talking to her.
Awesome.
And she does, I'll tell you what, she does some amazing photos and videos of the Northern Lights. I mean, just some unbelievable stuff of Aurora Borealis. So you got to check that out. But otherwise, for MJ, Maz, Jen, Greg, and Jim, I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear, and we're going to catch you guys next time. So good night, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, Jim.
All right, Jim. Thanks.
Next time you see Tony, tell him Mark said hi. I'm Mark. They call me Maz because he's Mark up there
why
too.
Why don't you have him on the show? Tones
is
one of the funniest dudes.
He is.
I mean, seriously, as you know.
Yeah. Plus, he knows a lot of your history that you probably shouldn't know about.
Keep that out of the show, frankly.
We should have both of you guys on this show.
He's great. I
Yeah,
love
you
Tony.
should have Tony Weir and myself on the show. Mr. Mr. Snowstorm up there in the New England works for the FAA is Weir, so he'd be a great guy to have on the show.
That'd be fun.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
That's cool,
Jim,
actually.
once we edit this and post it, we'll do it this weekend. It'll be up on Sunday. But do you want me to send you anything or just put it up on Twitter and Facebook or what?
No, send me something, man, and I'll just cut it, put it on my own. Okay.
Got it. We'll do. I'll
Be
send
happy
it
to
to
do
you.
it for you guys. All right.
I'll send you an MP3 or something.
Keep up the good work.
Cool. Appreciate
Yes.
being on, Jim. Take care of
thanks a lot,
yourself
Jim.
and stay
Thanks,
healthy.
Thanks,
my
Jim.
pleasure.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Bye. All
All
right,
right,
guys.
gang. Thank
That
you.
was fun.
Great show.